And I know Rose won't be with us today. She's up in Santa Fe. So generally in this class, we have people that come in a few minutes. But if there's anything you two need or would like for me to focus on, I'll be glad to. We will be using the chair and we'll be standing a little bit. Okay, is everybody good with that? A little bit of standing? All right, we'll be utilizing the chair with that, and just make sure it's not a roller chair. I know I was working with someone and I said, okay, let's use a chair. And she pulled one over and it was a roller chair. I said, no, that's not going to work. We don't want you rolling away. So just make sure it's a really good, stable chair, okay? And let's see what else is new. September, well, schedule will remain the same. We are interviewing people to see if anybody would be interested in a dance jam, where we just get together and dance. I would kind of lead it, but you would do your own moves. So that might be something we'll do. What else? We met and pretty much decided we're keeping the schedule the same, and maybe toward the mid or end of September, we might add some walking classes again, but we're going to wait and see what happens with the governor hi Chris, as she comes on probably Thursday and lets us know any new projections for September. But right now we're going to stay with the Zoom format, and eventually if we start to do a hybrid, where we may take reservations for 2 or 3 people to come in that want to do that, and then we would still continue the Zoom. But again, that's in the distance, and we will definitely keep you informed as we move forward with that. And then just also to let you know that tomorrow, hi Lydia, tomorrow, well, Thursday's Mark's birthday, and I'm going to take him away tomorrow morning. So tomorrow's class at 10, if anybody's coming in, will be taught by Denise. So with her lovely essence. And I know you all are appreciating her classes and her meditation. So she'll be here for tomorrow's Wednesday class. So we'll go ahead and begin. Let me check in.
One thing.
Yes.
Happy birthday to Mark.
Okay, I'll tell him. He doesn't know where we're going. It's a surprise. And he might be listening, so I better not say, but I'll tell you guys next week what I'm going to do. So, okay, let's make sure I've got everybody. Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mute you all if you're not already muted. And like I said, we'll be standing a little bit in that chair, not standing in the chair, standing with the chair. And we're going to start standing actually in a mountain pose behind the tall part of your chair. And we'll begin there to start to feel our feet upon the earth. And if you have blocks available, that's also a nice idea to have that. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my chair this way, just so you guys maybe can see me a little bit better since you can't see through the chair. And I'm just going to stand here and look down at my feet and feel myself with my feet about hips distance. And again, that is from that front part of your pelvic bone all the way down, lining everything up. Just as we do when we're seated in mountain and we're lining up, but with the different angles of our bent knees. And taking your hands on the back of the chair. We're just going to go ahead and close our eyes. And I want you to breathe, but I also want you to just feel your body in space and how it might just kind of take its own life here in terms of its own little movement, right? We don't ever want to be totally static, and that causes stagnation. And our bodies aren't meant for that. Our bodies are continually working, whether we think we're really still. There's so much going on. So as we breathe, just take note of how the weight on your feet may just kind of change. And the weight throughout your body may just shift a little bit to the left or right, forward or back. Maybe taking your body might just take little circles on their own. And I'm not saying to do that necessarily. I'm just saying take note of what our bodies do. And as we're standing here, make sure you have a little tiny flexed knee so that we're not locking into those knees, okay? And your eyes are closed. And with the eyes closed, we can really feel that gentle flow in our body too, just kind of coming around, and things are spiraling or they are in all directions. And then let's take one full breath deeply in, and then we're going to exhale it out of our mouths. Okay, inhale. And open up your mouth, exhale. And let that out. And then taking our hands right here on the top of the chair, and we're pushing down, all right, if we ever are using it for strengthening or for stability, right? We're not pulling back on it. And then just come up on the balls of your feet. Feel that back contraction in your calves. And slowly rising up. And take it slow coming down. That's the harder part, because gravity wants to just let us go plop on down. Lifting, and lift through your core as well. Pushing down solidly into your feet. Here's where we're going to feel some flexion in our quadricep and in our gastrocnemius, our calf muscle there. And then exhaling down. Keep going. Let's go a few more times, this time with breath. Lifting and coming down ever so slowly. How tall can we be? And how balanced on our feet can we be? 2 more times, please. Rising up through the crown and coming on down. Pulling at the belly. And taking and grounding. And let's just go ahead and move those knees, cha-cha, and bring that up into your hips a bit. And then take our hand on to the chair. Let's take our right hand on the chair and the right side of our body to the chair. And we're going to place weight into our right foot, right? So everything is grounded on the right side. And then we're going to lift our left foot off the ground, flex into that ankle on that foot, and let's take some circles with our ankle. So we can easily do this seated in the chair as well, if that is more comfortable for you. If you come in and you say, what are they doing standing? You can go ahead and sit and do this as well. And then going around in the opposite way, getting a few of those little tiny pops out of there. And placing your foot back on the ground, and let's take those knees, hips, chest, shoulders, and just let them move a little bit. So like I was saying, I'd like to do a dance jam with our Zooming with Vessel Health, but I need to get enough people that would be willing to dance with me. I would do some of the leading, but we would also just do all this freestyling stuff and just having fun. Probably about a half hour is all the class would be. Take weight again on that right foot. Take out your left knee, left hip. And as you know, this is our opening for our tree pose. So we're going to take tree pose with our hand pushing down, not pulling back on that chair, okay? And this may be tree right here, okay? Especially if we're used to doing our practice more seated, this could be your tree. And let's just stay here and breathe. I am opening my hip. I am lengthening through my body as I do this. I'm going to take my left hand down, take it under the back side of my thigh, and I'm going to assist that lift of my leg up a little bit higher here. And I'm just going to take some circles from my knee downward, okay, with the bottom part of my leg. And I'm going to reverse. And I'm holding on here for a little more stability, pushing down into the chair, or using that as needed. And then take my toe to the ground, lift my foot up. And again, maybe my hand is right underneath my thigh. And it's just toe down, knee up. Feeling that, warming us into our hip, into our glutes here just a bit. Keeping that open external rotation in our hip joint. Let's do 2 more. And placing foot down, taking it in, and let's walk it out. And just coming into the balls of our feet, taking those knees, taking the hips, taking the ribs, chest, shoulders, and just release. And then we're going to go and take our left side down. So I'm going to move my chair. You can switch sides or however it works for you. And we're going to repeat this action over here on this side. So left side, and I start in my mountain pose. And then I'm going to go ahead and take out my knee and my hip here. And I'm going to go ahead and we'll start from where we left off. We're going to start backwards and move to where we began. So taking that toe down, lifting up. Again, maybe holding on right back here. Good. And then taking my foot down and taking it out and finding where that tree pose would be for me. Again, the left leg is nice and solid. My hips are moving forward. Hands can be here if you like, or one hand here in this nice tree pose where we are working and externally rotating that hip there. And then we're going to go ahead and take our hand to the back side of your thigh. Lift your leg up and let's take some circles there with the lower part of our leg. So you're working your ankle and the knee joint. It's coming up into the hip joint as well, and reversing. And I don't know about you, but I'm starting to warm up, getting hotter and hotter here. I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to walk out both of my feet to knees and hips. And I'm going to lengthen my spine. Okay, so I'm going to take my hands on the back side of the chair. I'm going to walk back, pushing down on that chair, walking back. Little by little, this may be it. You want to walk just to the point that feels like that is enough opening for the back side of your legs and your spine. This is something where you get a little bit of when we're seated in the chair, but more when we're able to stand, but we're still supporting ourselves with that chair. So take yourself to any point. You don't want to go any lower than just that upside down L. And again, that might be a little bit much. You can bend into your knees and feel that less in the back side of your legs. And you'll get a different kind of feel by bending into your knees as well. You're going to feel a little more stretching in the armpit area. in the shoulder area. So it kind of feels good to do that. And then if and when you want to begin to lengthen your legs a little bit more, you can. Pull in at your navel point, all right, to make sure that you're holding in all of our precious cargo that we carry in the center of our bodies here. Good. And then go ahead and begin to walk up towards your chair. And let's take that chair and let's let the short side face us now. Okay, and stand in mountain. I'll give you a second or two to get ready here. And just standing in mountain again, finding yourself nicely grounded there. And then just bend, pulling in at your navel, taking your hands to the side of the chair. Or maybe, depending on your wrist and what you'd like to do, you can take your hands flat, opening up your fingers on the top there. The important thing right now is flat spine and lengthening in the back of your legs. So find what works for you, because we're going to come to one foot. So keep your weight on your left foot and just slide your right foot back. Keep your toe down. Keep your hips down. And just begin to bring up that back foot, toe off the ground in a little pulsing way. And your toe is pointed here. You can flex it if you like. But we're just doing a little bit of a bounce into the glute, rising up to any height that feels right for you. But again, it's just a little continual up and down and up and down. And then bend into your front knee and let that back foot come right next to the front. Lengthening out your legs again. Maybe if you had your hands flat on the chair, this time you want to take them to the side just so you don't have too much pressure in the same place on our hands. And as we're here, let's go ahead and bend into our knees and bend into our elbows. And then let our heads come towards the chair. Just sinking in a bit here. Breathing, feeling our bellies expanding on our thighs. And then lifting ourselves up into the flat legs and the flat spine. And keep the right foot down. Let the left one come back. Point it. And my hip wants to turn outward. I want to bring it back so that both my hips are radiating their energy towards the front part of that chair. And then I'm just going to, again, with a nice contracted leg. So that means pointed or flexed. Just going to lift up and down here a bit. And it can bend into that front knee if that feels more comfortable for you, okay? Just a little bit of glute work here. And then placing toe down, lengthen front leg, and slide that back leg forward. And bend into your elbows, bend into your knees, and come into kind of a curling and a tucking and a rounding. And placing your head, maybe your hairline or forehead on the front of your chair. And everything is kind of weighted here, either on the chair or on your thighs. And then lifting back up, pulling in at the navel point, and pulling ourselves up and away from the chair. And breathing here. And now we're going to do Warrior 2 over the chair, okay? So I'm going to come around, got my blanket on the chair there, and I want to take my left leg, that's my left leg, or whatever front leg you have there, and I want to bend into it, and I want to come back, hold on to the side of the chair, so push down there. And I want to lower so that the underside of my bent front leg is coming in contact with the front of the chair. When it does, I want to take and slide that chair right underneath where I am. My back hand is on the back of the chair. My front hand is on the front of the chair. And I'm going to adjust myself. I'm going to be high on the ball of the back foot there. And then I can just slowly, if my body allows, rest the back of my front thigh on that chair. And notice what that looks like to have a really good alignment between knee and ankle on the front side. And I'm high on the ball of the back foot. So now I'm going to go ahead only if you feel like you have the balance and the strength and it's comfortable enough for you, lifting up your arms nice and high here. So this is more where we're at right now. I take back the warrior 2, and I'm going to say this is more like warrior 1. And actually, because we're on the ball of our back foot, this is more like a crescent pose. But we can feel that lengthening in the sides of our body when we're breathing here. And then we're going to take our hands down, one onto the front part of the chair. And then I'm going to place my back foot down and out so that it's flat on the ground instead of on the ball of that foot. And I'm going to come into more of a warrior 2 now. So my back foot is more 90 degree, okay? I'm gonna come here, and for warrior 2, we have our arms spread out this way. And this is really nice to sit on the chair and have this warrior 2. And I don't call this the lazy warrior 2. I call it the warrior 2 that assists us in learning good alignment, okay? Because if I'm here, seated on the chair, I can focus more on pushing back through that back foot and pushing into the ground from the outside part of that back foot. I know that my front leg is in really good alignment there. I'm not worried about toppling over, all right, because I'm seated right on the chair here. So I'm reaching out as long as I can here into this warrior 2, looking over my front arm, which happens to be my left. Could be your right. It doesn't really matter, just so we switch them out. Press into your feet and press down into the chair. Rise up through the crown of your head. 2 or 3 breaths here. And then going and taking our hands to the front of the chair, and let's pick ourselves up off the chair and just bring ourselves back on the chair. And yes, we do need to do the other side, but let's sit on the chair for a second with wide legs. And we're going to do a little bit of goddess pose before we switch to that other side. So be on the edge of your chair, and your goddess can stay seated, pushing down solidly into the ground with your feet, because that's going to activate all your muscles here, including the glutes. Or you can take it and stand up and down with it, okay? So here we are, goddess. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take it down. Open up your fingers wide, push through your feet, okay? You can still feel it, even if you're not standing up, by pushing solidly through your feet. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. I'm going to do one more seated. Exhale, down. Do 3 more, either seated or you can stand with these, okay? So inhale, lift. Only thing is, make sure that chair is there when you come down, or don't quite sit all the way on it, okay? Your choice here. Everything's your choice. It's your choice to come to Zoom today. Good. And then finding yourself on the chair if you had removed yourself from there. And push through our feet. We're going to lift off the chair. Everyone standing up. Inhale. And exhale. Hands come down. Now we're going to do the other side for that warrior one and warrior two, or kind of a crescent-ish warrior one. Now it's my right leg that's going to bend, okay? So I want to find that bend. I want to be real close to the front of the chair. And I want to bend into that front knee, coming high in the ball of the back foot, or you keep your foot flat and down. Find what works for you. And when I get that knee bent, I'm going to take that chair and slide it under. I'm going to put my hands push down into the chair. And maybe I stay really high, or I start to sink myself seated in the chair there, okay? My foot on the back, I'm on the ball of that back foot. See? There. And I'm over the front like this, okay? And I want to put my hands on the chair, and that helps me to just bring my chest forward. High in the ball of the back feet and the back foot, and lifting my arms up long here. Opening up my fingers wide. Take a look. Breathing a few breaths here. Pushing down and back into the ball of that back foot. Pushing down into my front foot. Finding that I have that knee and ankle alignment there. Lift a little higher. Inhale. This time, exhale. Take your hands down into cactus. Squeeze into your shoulder blades. Inhale, lift. Lengthen and exhale. Let's do that again. Nice, great. Opening for our heart. Lengthen up. And then exhale, taking your hands back onto the chair. And this time, take a look at that back foot. Take it out towards me and let it come flat-footed, okay? So the toes are facing me, if that's comfortable. And if so, then you're in about a 90-degree angle there with your ankle. And we're going to move into the warrior two then. And again, difference being, here we are. Arms spread out, nice and wide here. Breathing. Feeling strength in our warrior two, noticing where our feet are, where our arms are. A few more breaths here. Stretching, lengthening even longer. Let's take our arms up. Inhale. Find them in the center. Exhale. Squeezing the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen. Shoulders pull down. This is the difference here. Shoulders are up. And I know Lydia asked about this the other day, and I'm starting to notice it more now. Shoulders up, shoulders are down. Okay? And both can have a function, but just notice what you're doing and why. Okay? And then let's come back out to warrior two. Take a couple breaths. And then place our hands down. And let's find ourselves back in forward with legs wide and at the edge of your chair. Everybody do okay with that? More or less. But I like that. I like that way of getting into warrior two with the chair. I'm going to just come up and down on the balls of my feet here while I'm sitting with my hips open. And again, I do this a lot, not just when I'm teaching classes, but I just do it to strengthen that calf, Strengthen my feet, the joints in my feet. And let's lift up nice and high on the heels. Heels up, the balls of your feet down. Take your hands kind of in front, holding on to your knee, and maybe thumbs underneath your knee. And let your spine be really long here as you push down into your feet. Crown of the head rises up. My hands can giving a little motivation to open up my knees more only if they want to, okay? We're not making a wish on a wishbone here. We just want to let our legs do what our muscle memory has been able to teach them to do. If it hasn't gone there yet, little by little, you'll be more open here. And exhale, releasing heels down. Let's go ahead and walk our feet in. Yeah, and this is where we generally start our chair class, in our mountain pose. So let's find that. Take a few breaths. Heart can start to beat a little faster when we're doing a lot of the holding and contracting postures. When we're standing as well. All right, and then let's do some warm up for our arms. We're going to just take that left arm forward and up, inhale. And look back, exhale, bring it down. Come forward, inhale. And exhale. Follow your hand with your gaze. One more time, really making that circle nice and big. Low and high. And reverse. Warming up our shoulder. Warming up our neck as our gaze follows our hand. Getting a little bit of twist here as well. One more time. And probably most importantly, we're breathing through our nose and we're matching that breath with movement. Left hand comes. Just notice any difference between left and right. Right now. And let's release our right arm and let's begin whichever direction you want to start with, making those full circles. Notice how I'm kind of bringing my body forward, not totally collapsing, staying in control of that movement. Staying in control of my breath. We don't want to be in control of everything in our life, right? We want some things to just kind of flow. We want to let go, let other people take charge sometimes as well. And let's reverse that. I know that was really hard for me to learn to do after I stopped teaching. I was always the one that was supposedly the one in charge, right? The one in control. So I had to really work, and I still do, to not be that control freaky freak. Let's do one more. Nice. And let's place our hands down and just hang out here in our mountain for a few breaths. And you'll feel your heart beat a little bit faster too. Why? Because we're doing this. We're raising our arm up over our head. So the heart has to beat a little bit harder, okay? So always know that if that's a lot, then just take those circles or any other thing and just don't lift as high. All right, let's go into some cat and cow. We're going to do this a little bit different. I want you to come on your forearms onto your upper thighs and just take your hands and let them come over your knees. So we're just going to be kind of in a sphinx pose here. If we were laying down on the ground, like this, and our legs behind us, that's sphinx pose. So you can keep your hands here if this is a lot on your wrists. And we're just going to hold here, and we're going to let our belly drop, our heart come forward, shoulders down and look up. And then we're going to just curl and tuck and round in this really small space. And then I'm going to come forward. Maybe I can put fists, make fists, and that's going to help me be even stronger, my forearms. Just find something that works for you on your hands. I'm making fists when I come into my cow, pushing down with my forearms strongly. And I'm taking fingers out wide and pulling my shoulders down away when I curl and tuck and round. That just seems to be working for me. Invent something for yourself. So much of yoga comes from basic poses, right? But it's when we take our body's knowledge of how it moves and what might feel good that we can reinvent that basic pose into something a little bit different, like we're doing now. Let's do one more set here. Slowly coming up. And I know for some of us who might not like choices, right? We just want things to be the way they are. Then that might not be for you. You might want to just do, your normal cat and cow. But I'm not quite sure what normal is anymore because I've already shown you guys a varied array of cat and cows, from standing, sitting, laying down, on knees, all of that. So because cat and cow is one of those basic postures we should fit into our bodies and the way that it feels right for us. All right, take your left foot and bring it into the center. Take your right foot and cross over. If that is unavailable to you, then just take that front right leg in front of your left leg. And sitting up straight and tall. Notice where your sits bones are here. And staying here, and let's start to squeeze in. Squeeze in our legs together. Squeeze in. Our glutes are going to contract here. We're going to contract into our core. We're going to let that contraction rise up through the crown of our head. If I want, I can take my hands and be a little isometric with them as well. I'm going to flex my foot. I'm going to squeeze some more. Really squeezing everything into the middle. And then exhale, release that. Keeping right leg over left, I'm going to rise up my arms, inhale. And then I'm going to exhale, right elbow under the left elbow, and I cross. And I come here, or I find my nice eagle pose here. And also this leg that's crossed over on top, some of you might be able to reach it behind the bottom ankle. If not, just stay where you're at. That takes a lot of flexibility in our joints to do that. But I'm just inviting, for those of you that have been doing this for a while, and I know some of you have that flexibility to do that, and continue your squeeze, and let's take 4 circles in one direction. Exhaling as you come down, inhaling as you come up through your nose. Feeling that in your shoulders, rise up and reverse. Come around in the opposite way 4 times. And then rise up high. Take a curve in your back and take your thumb of that's my left hand. And I'm going to put it on my third eye. And I want to bring my elbows up. And I want to curve into my lumbar spine and lift my heart. Shoulders really opening up here, squeezing into my legs. And then exhale. Take me back down. And exhale those arms. Shake them out. Take your leg off the other. Paddle them out. So we brought ourselves into kind of a bind there where we're really working the joints. And by the way, on that dance jam that I'd like to do, a lot of the moves can be done seated. You know, I just want to share a story. We're going to cross the left leg over the right. I used to go to this event called Merrymakers with a group that I was involved in when I taught at West Mesa High School. And we would go to Buena Vista. We're going to squeeze these legs together. Buena Vista Community Center, I think it was called, on Friday nights. And they had this thing called Merrymakers where they had people of varying disabilities that would come. And my students would go and they would dance and intermix with that community. And they just had so much fun. They would beg me to go. But I remember people being in wheelchairs and dancing, you know, in their chairs. They would just be moving and grooving and working with their capabilities, not their limitations, right? And so some of us who feel like, oh, I'm too embarrassed to dance or whatever, it's just like letting our bodies go. It's a release that can feel really, really good. So still squeezing. I hope you're feeling that all the way here. Foot flexed and releasing out of that squeeze. If you like, this would be the time, if you're taking that double wrap, to do it. And let's maintain, you know, maybe not the total squeeze, but nicely knowing that one leg is attached to the other. And I have my left or my right this time. Raise my arms up. And I'm going to exhale my left under my right this time. And I come into here, which might be all my shoulders want to do. Or I begin to find forearms perpendicular to the ground. And this time, instead of making circles, we're going to just go up as high as we can. Inhale. And then we're going to exhale, taking those elbows towards our left hip. And take a little twist, squeezing with my legs. Pull up, inhale. And exhale, taking my elbows to my right hip. Bring it up, inhale, lift high. And exhale. Keep going. Are we squeezing for our urogenital system? Squeezing our legs together. One more set, please. Coming on up, inhale. Lifting high, looking up, exhale, come forward. Take your elbows to your knees. Only one elbow to your one knee. And then let your head come in if you like. And resting in between your biceps. Find yourself in sleeping perched eagle here. Squeeze everything together and wake up and lift up. Exhale. Release those wings. Release your talons and let's fly a bit. Inhale and exhale. Bring it up and bring it down. And this time lift one leg up and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Kind of like, what is that pose in Kung Fu? Grasshopper or praying mantis, I think. Inhale. And by the way, if you have gardens, I've been looking out and my herb gardens, there's all kinds of praying mantis. It's really exciting. Sometimes I'll be watering and I'll come inside and there's one that's come with me on my shoulder. There's one the other day on my back. I thought, why is my back itchy like that? And I realized it was praying mantis. And I said, Mark, could you please get this guy and just put him back where he belongs? I couldn't reach him. One more each side. I like that one. That's a good one. Take our hands down. Sit in mountain, transition. A couple breaths here. Good. I haven't done a lot of side opening yet, so let's do a little bit of that, okay? I'm going to take my right hand on the front right leg of the chair, and I want to just let my hand come up the side of my body, lift my elbow up, okay, elbow, and I want to slide down. Elbow lifts, chest comes outward, pull on my navel. Don't want to hyperextend into my lumbar region at all. I want to try to be as straight as I can through my, not really straight in my torso. How do I want to put that? I don't want to be bowing forward or back, okay? Let's lift that left elbow up a little bit higher. Slide down, maybe more, only if it's working for you to do that. Feet are taking their energy into the ground. And then slowly lift up, inhale. Exhale, just release both hands, but maintain a nice straight spine so we don't start to do this slump asana thing. We're going to stay really straight here. And now we're going to take the left hand to the left front. Dogs thought that was somebody at the door, so they're barking. Left hand down. And right hand up. Hey guys, it's okay. And right elbow lifts high. Oh. Pulling it at the navel point. Really feeling this in the obliques here. Nice. And slowly, slowly, slowly with core control. Bring yourself up. Let your arms down and let's take shoulder rolls. Inhale up. Exhale back and down. Good. Inhale. Exhale back and down. And let's reverse squeeze together and lift. And bring yourself forward and down. One more time, really make that circle big. And let your warm shoulders just melt away from your ears here. But let's not let our spine melt. We still want to stay nice and straight here. Okay, connected, one vertebrae on top of the other. And then let's take our hands up, inhale. And exhale, let's take our left under our right, bend the, let's see, which elbow? Bend the bottom elbow so that my right arm is straight. Getting confused with Galasana, eagle pose. And then I'm going to go ahead and just start to take my body to the left in a twist. Shoulders pulling down and away. And bring myself back forward. My right hand's extended towards you. My left elbow's bent. And I'm going to take myself and turn over, looking over my right shoulder here. Bring myself back forward, releasing everything down. Rise up. And then exhale. Left is under right, bending into my left. My right arm, my left is towards you, shoulders pulled down. And I take myself over one direction, looking over my shoulder. Quick twist for the neck here as well. Coming back forward, my fingers reaching out to you, my left hand. And then I'm coming in to the other side, looking back over my left shoulder. And coming back forward. Exhale, release, lift up, inhale. Let's fly a few times here, just on the flow. Exhale down, inhale. Check into your feet, your mountain. Are we staying with feet nice and parallel? Knees coming forward out of our hips. Maybe readjusting on our sits bones a bit. And 2 more times. And exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Let's interlace our fingers at the base of our spine behind us, okay? And just keep them there if that's enough for you in your shoulders, or you can begin to lengthen out your arms or pulling your hands away from the lower lumbar sacral area, really squeezing into your shoulders. Your heart comes forward, but I'm not totally opening up right now, so I don't want to make that curve in the lumbar right yet. I'm just mostly working in the shoulder area. Now I want to go ahead and open up the heart a little bit more by taking my curve into the lumbar, coming up, maybe taking a look up towards the sky. And then bringing myself back into straight spine, taking my hands towards the base of my spine, releasing my hands down. And just feeling what that's like to sit in mountain pose. And if you have a block available, go ahead and grab one. I'm going to take one right in the middle between my feet. And I'm going to take and hold on to it with my feet. I'm going to hold on to, there you go again. Every time I go like this, you think someone's at the door. And I want to hold on in my core. I want to hold on here with my hands on my legs of the chair. I want to lean back slightly. Now, if some of you need to lean back all the way, you're still going to get core strengthening here, okay? So see where you're at, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to lift the block up and put it down. I don't want you to overtax your spine. So if you need to rest those shoulders on the back of the chair and keeping this abdomen in a straight way, you can do that. Just taking the block and lifting it. If you feel like you've got some core strength and you're going to use your arms here a lot, then you can go ahead and take your shoulders away from the back of the chair. All right? But nothing that's going to cause you to have backache. This is meant to develop your core so that you have a stronger lower spine. Okay? You don't want to force the spine to do something the abdomen's not ready for, and vice versa. Okay. And let's go ahead and place that block down. And I'm going to take my legs, not really far apart like we were before, but about the legs distance that the chair is on. Take my hands down to the block, and I'm going to walk it out forward. Now, you don't want to walk it out so much that you push that chair away from you sitting on it, okay? I want to make sure you guys stay seated on the chair. We want a flat spine. And I might go ahead then and let my ears come in between my biceps. I have a nice flat spine here. So I'm in a forward fold, but I am supported with that block. I'm pulling in at my navel, having a nice long spine. And this, of course, can be done without the block, with your hands on the ground. I like the block, though, because it can get a little more length. And that length can take me into more depth as well when I'm not using the block. And remember, that block has 3 heights. Or my fingers are here. All right, pulling at your navel. Let's come up like ragdolls. Hands are hanging. Chin is at your chest. And you're slowly rising up, one vertebrae on top of the other. Walking in our feet. Finding ourselves in mountain pose here. And now I want you to take your seat back towards the edge of your chair, or the back of your chair, not the edge. We've been at the edge. I'm doing that, what is that backwards talking thing called? I've done a lot of that today. Take your shoulders and place them on the back of the chair. And I know for some of you, your feet are kind of dangling unless you have those blocks that we used to use at Vessel, you know, to put your feet on, and that's fine. Or you can take yourself to the balls of your feet there and just rise up a little bit and just let them kind of hang and dangle there. From here, shoulders are back. Pull at your navel so that you feel your whole spine on that back part of your chair. Let's let our chin come to our chest. Let's bring it up just at a slight angle. That's your inhale through your nose. Exhale through the nose, chin to chest. 3 more times. This is real slow, right? Because your breaths are really slow. Okay. And then just take your chin to a normal place there. Close your eyes. Keep inhaling and exhaling on your nice, slow, deep, full breaths through the nose. Our bodies have journeyed quite a bit in this last hour, from standing to seated, to legs together, to legs apart, from flying eagle to goddess, and everything in between. So, left hand, right hand comes to my heart, and from my heart to yours, lifting my back away from the chair so my heart can come a little bit closer to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for attending to your bodies in a good way. And keep coming to our classes here. And when you can't make our classes, remember that we have our YouTube site. And I hear we have 50 shows on that now, 50 shows.